What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Next Wave podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Blake Zanny Janney, joined by my co-host, Dak D. Woody Woodall. Welcome to episode 23. Today, we're going to be doing our usual episode covering this weekend of the CDL, some Rocket League news. We're going to touch on Halo a little bit today and then end it with our coin segment, Pick and Bans. Going to be another great episode. Stay tuned. So before we jump into the COD matches here, how was your weekend, Dag?
It was good, man. We just chilled. We watched a lot of COD, played a lot of Rainbow. It was a good time. It was a chill little weekend. I've been doing a lot of stuff for my new apartment and stuff like that. So getting that in the works. Can't wait to get on a consistent schedule next month when I move. But yeah.
What's your move? When do you move?
Like May 24th.
Okay. Didn't you originally think it was tomorrow?
Yeah, but I've signed a 13-month lease, not a 12.
Nice.
So I was getting ready for the move like a month ago, and I was like, oh, I got time. So
yeah, that's a great feeling.
Yeah.
But yeah, mine was good. Went to the Blue October concert. That was fun. Didn't play one of my favorite songs, though, so that sucks. But they played my absolute favorite song, which is all that matters. So had a great time with some friends there, and then otherwise just kicked it, watched COD. So we got a lot to talk about today.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, we had some crazy matches. Some were making you lose your mind, and some were just crazy close and upsets. So, that's what we're getting into first. First match of the Friday here, getting right into COD. We had the Carolina Royal Ravens going up against the New York Subliners. As the website says on here, 93% New York favored. Everyone and their moms had New York in this series. But the Ravens pull it out 3-2 thanks to an absolute 1v4 from Gwyn. Like, this is actually a 1v4.
Yeah, no, literally.
Like, he literally 1v4'd them.
And while you're talking about it, let me bring the stats up, actually. Last week was a little bit of amateur hour. I forgot to put on the breaking point stats, so let me do that. I gotta say, bro.
What?
I think Carolina is New York's like shitty team boogeyman, bro. And here's why. Here's why, bro.
They're the Florida to opposite.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Every top 4 team has that one team that's obviously worse than them, but they always play them tough. And it's for some reason it's the Ravens. Ravens beat them on land, Major 1. Should have beaten them 3-0 in the next qualifying stage, but they got reverse swept after choking the control. And then obviously New York beat the shit out of them 3-0 at Major 2, but then Ravens come here and win 3-2. So they're hella competitive with New York.
So far this year, Optic hasn't really had one of those teams.
Yeah, thank God.
Other than Miami.
FaZe is our boogeyman.
One game. Right, which is fine. And phases, you could, LAG, we could say LAG plays them close every time. They beat them once, and for some reason LAG does. Maybe not the last time, but they do play them close. It has Boston for Toronto, but that was when Slasher was on the team. So I don't know if Ultra necessarily. But Ultra, we'll get to them.
That was a one-off weekend when Boston 3-0'd Ultra. That was some weird shit.
Yeah. I was trying to see if each top 4 team had one of those boogeyman.
I don't know about this year, but I just mean like in past CDL seasons, there's always like a top 4 team that struggles against some random team that they shouldn't struggle against. And for Optic, it was Florida. New York's this year's the Ravens.
I agree. That's a great take.
But Gwyn, brother, 1.47, 115 and 78 plus 37 on the series with 20,527 damage.
This is the craziest series I may have ever seen in my life.
Insane. This is by far the solidified Rookie of the Year series.
Yes. Yeah. Unless he just completely fucking falls off.
No
obviously
chance.
Not going to happen.
Yeah.
This is absurd.
Yeah. But I did want to say bad loss from New York. I figured they would be fine this series, and they were not.
No.
And I thought, you know what? It's fine. They play Seattle next. They'll bounce back. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. This was the first sign of it got the discussion going for New York. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well, there's visibly something wrong here. We are playing, you know, too systematic at some points,
Yeah.
right, in the match, and we're just letting things go open. Sometimes on the mini map, it doesn't look like they're calling out,
Mm-hmm.
but we'll save that for the next match because that's where it's more
Okay.
applicable.
Yeah.
Because really, this is just a Gwyn takeover 1v4.
Yeah.
Nothing else
Yeah.
for me to add to it.
No, absolutely incredible series out of Gwyn. I gotta tip it.
It's
That's insane.
ridiculous.
Against a top 4 team when your team is not even close. That's insane.
And so, speaking of the Seattle Surge, we get into the next match, which is Optic Texas versus Seattle Surge. It's a 3-0 from Optic Texas, but the control was the only one that Optic dominated.
Yeah.
This was a pretty tight game, 35-point spread in the hard point and a round 11 in the search.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't actually get to watch much of this match, but it looks like the boys in green all were just playing together.
Yeah.
All red carpet versus green carpet.
Bad
even though
series
it
out
was
of Hook
close, which is weird.
and Brezzy.
That means, like, for not watching the series and seeing that all of them are negative and we're all positive, with a 1.12 being the least, they must have been having really good teamwork on the side of Seattle. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Would you
say
that?
Yeah, so I thought their comms sounded pretty good. Map 1, the listening was pretty good. Hook had hella passion. Their small talk sounded really good. It seemed like they're kind of vibing as a squad, and they seem hungrier than they did with RCDs for sure. They definitely seem like they have some motivation to improve, and obviously they've been making these series competitive. They look better in respawn despite this control. They looked really good in respawn against New York, which we'll get into. But I mean, the first 2 maps were pretty close. Seattle had a solid lead most of the hard point in 6-star, but Kenny and Shotzi obviously took over the second half of the map. 36 and 21, 1.71 out of Ken. Shotzi 32 and 24, 1.33 out of the kid, bro. They were going crazy that map.
Yeah. Shotzi has 11k damage over 3 maps, which is almost averaging 4 a map, including a search. So, and there was a quick control, only 3 rounds. So that was he was everywhere on the map.
But map 2 went all the way to round 11. Optic played it hella slow round 11 and just like waited, got a lot of info. Shotzi snuck through bottom, and then they ended up collapsing, and Shotzi got a pick, and then they collapsed on site and won the round. So nice. Good work out of them. I want to shout out 04 though, because everyone says he's an S&D god supposedly, and he 1v3'd us on high rise 1 round. So yeah, so he definitely showed out a little bit, and I think he's a good addition, bro. I mean, he had the highest KD on their team. He seems like a good fit.
So. Yeah, I think it's just going to be some reps. It'd be nice to see Seattle be competitive again, just to make it a little more interesting amongst the bottom 8, especially. I mean, as far as, because they're just fighting for champs at this point.
Yeah.
And as far as beating the top 4 teams, it doesn't look like they're going to be in that shape ever, just based on talent alone.
Maybe
so. Yeah, they can maybe beat New York, I guess. Yeah,
but the big 4 is just 2.
2. Really, it is. That is how it is right now. It's Optic, or it's FaZe, a couple tiers, Optic, and then like 3 more tiers.
Yeah.
Ultra, and then New York. But getting into the
hold on.
Else to add?
Yeah, I wanted to give you a stat. Seattle is 1-16 in their last 17 controls.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're horrible.
Yeah, so that's why they got 3-0 slammed on Karachi. They really, really need to improve in that game mode.
Yep. Yeah. Speaking of getting 3-0 slammed on the control, this brings us to our next series. Miami Heretics versus Toronto Ultra. Ultra take this one 3-0. Miami had us in the first map. I ain't gonna lie. They won by 100 on Vista. Looking nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then they bring it to, they go up like, I think 4-1 in the S&D or something like that.
Yep.
And, or 5, and maybe it was 5-2 at one point as well.
Yeah.
And then they lose it round 11.
Yeah.
So they choke that. Their mental was drained. They go into the invasion control, get smacked up 3-0. And then Karachi was close, but it seems like most Karachis in the CDL are close. So that's where the Toronto Ultra ended it.
Yeah. Yeah. Real continues to be good for this team. I think if he keeps it up, which he's been doing it since he came on the roster, then maybe Miami, maybe it'll elevate his teammates, and they might be fighting for top 6 next major. We'll see.
Yeah,
But,
another struggle series for Metals.
yeah.
Last split it was lucky. Metals has split one. Metals was their best player, and then these last 2 splits hasn't been very well. He's been on the downtrend. He was putting down some damage, but I mean,
He
wasn't
had
converting.
it's either the next series they played or the series before this one. Metals had a really, really good series. But
Yeah, and that was like the first one in
yeah,
a while.
yeah.
Which was
he
surprising.
did switch roles, which I thought
Eh,
might. That's what they said on the flank. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't really paying attention to their guns that much, but
Well, that means he's on. Is he the flex now?
yeah.
Okay, and Vickles AR.
I guess.
Huh.
But round 11 in that search, Vickle was literally like so close to making the play, bro. He almost caught the timing and got a like really good pick. But it was Insider, someone was like playing back junkyard and found him.
Cheese.
Yeah.
Of course, Insight's in the back of the map with a snapback.
Yeah. So
But yeah, nothing really. I mean, definitely think that the change from bringing in Real is definitely beneficial for this team. But just like almost every other team other than the top 4, they're just fighting to make champs. And that's really what you're aiming to do at this point is just get to champs so you can at least secure a little bit more cash for yourself and participate in the biggest event of the year. So
this was the first series where you could kind of tell Ultra is not themselves right now. That map one listening is dog shit, brother. It's so bad.
Really?
None of them had energy. None of them were small talking. They were just like, he's here, he's there, he's over there. It was really bad, and they were getting slammed accordingly.
Damn, that's unlike them.
Yeah, but that was our sign that we should have thought, damn, Ultra's not looking like themselves right now.
Very true.
Which we'll get to. So.
Yep. Miami Heretics go back-to-back this weekend. Last game on Friday, first game on Saturday, up against the LA Thieves, who have been looking really good on the uptrend for sure. Thieves take this one 3-2, very close. The map 2 was around 11, and the map 5, both S&Ds, was around 10. So both going 10-plus rounds. But what's funny is the Vista Hardpoint, LA Thieves won by 100. Shout out to fucking Dan Ghosty, 34-17 on that map.
Yes, sir.
Absolute dog.
On 420, smoking that Vamos pack. Yes, sir.
He got that gas Ghosty upgrade.
Vamos OG.
Then we go to the Rio, which you would argue in terms of like meta, they're very similar, Rio and Vista. Miami slams them by 100.
Yeah.
So this was just a kind of a banger, like a bang out series because they alternated hard points and they alternated S&Ds essentially. LA Thieves smoked them on the high rise 3-1 in control and then iced up map 5.
Yeah. And I forget the stat, but I'm pretty sure LA Thieves are icy as fuck in game 5 searches. So
whenever
I think they were like 5-1 or something. I forget.
Yeah, you hear game 5 and you can just think like, oh yeah, these people suck at it, or like you can think about the times these people always lose it, like Boston, fucking Miami, Minnesota, all these teams, and then you think of the like LA Thieves doesn't come to mind, so I imagine they are pretty icy.
I'm pretty sure that's
beginning of the year they weren't making it to many, granted, but
true.
So
couldn't win a hard point.
Yeah, 5-1's good.
Yeah, for sure. This was the series I was thinking about for Metals, though. Great series out of him. 1.18, 94 and 80, plus 14 on the series, 19k damage. Like, he was going crazy. And Real's still the GOAT.
Lucky and Vickle just not putting any damage down, man. 16. Obviously in a win it doesn't look as bad, but in a loss, like when you have 2-3k less than your teammates, it doesn't look very good. So damage has to be spread around, obviously, but still.
But fun series. Both teams are looking better. I like it. I think this split is looking much more competitive so far.
It's just why is it taking so long for some of these teams to make these changes? Both of them, like you waited long enough to put Eric Boom in, and you do it at the worst time.
Yeah.
You wait long enough, and you wait until after the LAN to sub in Eric Boom. LA Thieves, you keep Afro on the roster for way too long.
Yeah. And
you finally drop him, and you're improving immediately, immediately. So like we've said all year, like why are we waiting so long to make these changes? But
Yeah.
anything else to add on that, Matt?
No, but I'm looking forward to, you know, seeing what these teams can do.
Yeah, I like watching Thieves. So
Yeah.
getting into the next match, Optic back-to-back second matches of the day, which I feel like I've never seen before. We get into a 3-0 win for Optic Texas over the Las Vegas Legion. This was the debut, or should I say
Pooh.
debut,
Yeah.
for Asim, as he drops 39 kills over 3
Yeah.
maps for a .64.
Yeah.
It was tough to see. Their pacing looks a little off with the new role, or with the new addition of Asim.
No, I'm not.
It's
I'm not counting this game for anything against Vegas, brother. They
I
were
agree.
so faded, bro. They
Yeah,
were
yeah.
so scared that Shotzi was gonna get behind them that
They
they
didn't
weren't
move
even
on the map,
playing
bro.
COD, bro. They weren't even playing for the win, bro.
Yeah,
And
I really wish I'm gonna have to go back and watch this series because I've heard all of it. I've seen some clips. I've heard all of the analysis on this game, and it just I have to go back and watch it
Yeah.
because apparently they just weren't playing COD. Shotzi was actually
No,
got checked and
I
still 3
think
0.
they genuinely pissed Shotzi off. I'm not even kidding, bro.
No, they did.
I
They
mean,
did.
yeah, I mean, look, he dropped a .8. But Shotzi in the interview was like, I don't know what these dudes are doing. Like, they're horrible, blah, blah, blah. Like, he was talking shit, and they were like, dang, Shotzi, like, chill out, bro. I've never heard you talk like this. And Shotzi was like, no, like, they would literally cut me, and I would die first, and my teammates are on hill, and instead of just flooding hill, they would cut me again off spawn. And I'm like, what the fuck? And 3 of my teammates are on hill with no action. And I was
Yeah.
just like, yeah, bro, what are they doing? What are they doing, bro?
I'm definitely gonna rewatch that series, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I want to see how faded they looked. It was even so. I mean, 35-point hard point, 2-round S&D, 2-round control. So comfortable win for them.
Highlight Pred
had
in
a
that
great
search.
series. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Almost
was going
12K
crazy.
damage, or 1100 damage, 1.4 KD. Shout out to the cash respecter Pred.
Yeah. Yeah, 13 and 5 in search. He had a great 3-piece, not really 3-piece, but 3 quick
3K.
kills. Yeah. In round 9, I believe, and then they closed it out round 10. So solid from him.
Solid.
Love to see it.
Love to see it. I meant to say this earlier when Carolina played, but shout out to fellow the cash respector.
Ah, yes. Big series.
Oh, that
from
was against
fellow.
that was against LAG. Actually,
Oh, yeah.
that was
Okay.
against LAG. We'll get to that.
Okay.
In a couple matches here, but anything else to touch on the Optic Vegas map?
Nah.
Match rather. All right, going into the last match of Saturday here, we had Seattle Surge taking on the New York Subliners. Again,
Phew.
97% favored New York. And they lose all 3 respawns in this against Seattle.
Yeah.
And Seattle
Unbelievable.
take it 3-1. Not only did they just win, they won by a combined 110, 120 points in the hard points. It was not close. The respawn in control also not close.
Yeah.
Again, didn't get to watch this one, but due to what I've heard, it seems like New York has gone from where they had a problem with slaying, with kind of kill whoring, which was a given when you take Priest out of the equation and insert Sib,
Right.
who's more of a kill-oriented player. Then I guess part of their coaching and part of their game plan was to kind of find a middle ground, and they have strayed too far from the black into the white and have not found that gray area, and are playing too systematic to where they're not keeping track of everyone. Holes are open, comms are like not flowing correctly. So something I'm gonna have to rewatch to see exactly what was going on. But when Skies is plus 28 and you're losing 3-1, something's wrong.
Yeah, and Sib absolutely bottled it. I had a 4-man parlay. He was the last guy on it. All I needed was him to drop 50. He had 59 in the entire series. So
in the entire series,
4-game series. Yep.
with Hardpoint being the last.
Look, Aches said on the flank that NYSL is 11-1 if they win map 1, and they're 5-7 if they lose map 1. So maybe they get checked. I said this earlier this year on the podcast. P-Dog brings the vibes. Sib has an ego. Doesn't seem like someone who's good at bouncing back when things start going south. I just don't get the impression that he's a bringer of vibes.
He the type to get picked second at recess and not play because he wasn't first pick.
Yeah.
Like he's got that ego with attitude.
Yeah, that's just the
There's
vibe I
ego
get, bro.
and then there's ego with attitude, and it seems like he's got a little ego with
I
attitude.
could be completely
Um,
wrong, he might be a great teammate, but that's kind of the vibe I get. I try to pick up on
right,
their
yeah.
vibes after a loss, and it's just like he's just sitting there all silent, like, fuck this shit.
How many times have we seen? I feel like we've seen New York reverse sweep a lot this year.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes me think when they are you said what 5-7 after
Yeah.
losing map 1.
Yeah.
I feel like 5 of those wins are also when they lose map 2
Yeah.
because feel like I've at least seen them reverse sweep 3 times this
Mhm.
year at least. So I wonder if their only win condition when losing the first map is to
Is to
also lose the
lose map
S&D.
2, yeah.
Yeah, and have to reverse sweep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's funny.
yeah, this is they're on alert right now in terms of just
Yeah.
performance, not in terms of like roster change or anything. There's no way you change your roster
Yeah, no, definitely
with
not.
this.
But
Like way too much talent,
yeah.
and you just won champs last year. But they're on watch for making it a top 3 league and not a top 4.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. Kismet hasn't seemed to find his stride
He's
this
not
year,
99.
bro. Yeah,
not 99 Bulldog
he's
this
very
year.
up and down this year, and that may be because of this team change, bro.
Maybe.
I don't know. I
It may be.
think it's time to start pushing the narrative.
I don't. Oh man, this kind of talent making a
We
team
miss
change.
P Dog.
They do miss P Dog.
I
That's for
think
damn sure.
sometimes dynamic might outweigh talent, bro.
I agree.
Team
I definitely
dynamic
agree.
could definitely outweigh some talent. But I don't know. It could just be slump, weird shit going on. I don't know. I really don't.
We'll see if that energy carries into next week,
Look,
and then obviously the major.
They played incredible major too, even though they came in 4th or whatever. Like they were playing some good COD. So
Yeah,
it could just be online cheese. I don't know. They just got to figure it out internally. We know what this team can do.
Yeah, but now they're on watch. They have to show it to us now, right? Obviously, like when it comes game time, and you tell me to put my bet on someone, I'm gonna bet on New York. But at the same time, I'm sweating my balls off. Like, so we'll see. But anything else to touch on that before we move to Sunday? Cool. Getting into Sunday, the Carolina Royal Ravens continue to win their maps. They go up against LAG, obviously a bottom team, but in your eyes, this is kind of a close series in terms of historic performances so far. So they end up taking it 3-0, and shout out to Felony, even though he dropped a 0.98, he was only -1 and was putting damage down. Pretty much won them.
He and Clay had the same stat
rounds.
line almost, bro. Look at that.
Yeah, they did. That's the duo right there. But map 1 Felony, top frag the lobby. For some reason, I was feeling that fellow over to that day, and he came through for me. He even won them a couple rounds of control, like pretty much like solid 2 or 3 pieces that opened up the map.
Late in the game,
Especially, and he was icing up whenever it came down to that round 5 defense. It kind of got a little mixy at the end, and he was just holding it down. So shout out to fellow in this series. Everyone positive in that map 1. And pretty much positive in the overall series. I mean, 0.98s, both -1. Come on.
Mm-hmm. This was good, bro. This was really good to see Tej and Fellow step it up online for a little bit. I mean, Tej is up and down, but sometimes Tej be dropping some stinkers, bro. So he does. This is a good series from both of them.
I think he's always been someone that I kind of like early dashy, like just needs accountability.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's one of those players that just needs it. Not saying it's bad or good. It's just he'll thrive more when there's a little bit more accountability, and then all moving into the same place and playing out of the same quote unquote facility, which is just their coach's apartment.
Mm-hmm.
I think is going to be beneficial for him to kind of keep that motivation, keep head in the right headspace, and just be with his team. So we got to talk about this. Assault finally getting dropped from LAG, and is getting replaced by their substitute Flames, who is a Challengers player that's been riding the bench this entire year. So again, back to what I said earlier, why are we waiting so fucking long to make these changes? You have 2 top 6s on LAN and nothing to show for it other than that. I
Yeah.
know that's why, like, but like, why is that? Why? Like,
Yeah, no.
top six should not be satisfactory after being 12th in online league or 11th,
Yeah, they
10th,
gotta
whatever they are.
understand too. Top six is like what, 2 series wins?
Yes.
Yeah, and they played 2 of the worst teams to get there. Or
Yeah,
who'd
they
they
did.
who'd they beat in
They
Major Two?
they
Ravens and
well
Rocker
they beat
or
Legion.
someone. Oh,
No,
Legion.
that was Carolina. That was Carolina.
Gotcha. Yeah.
They beat Carolina and someone else. Um, but yeah,
But yeah,
I'm
that's
excited to see if, like we were talking about earlier, Seattle getting a little bit better. Thieves definitely got better. Carolina getting better. Did I already say Miami?
no.
Miami getting a little bit better with Real. I really hope that is the case with LAG because I definitely want to see a more competitive league. Like,
Yeah.
hopefully, they'll follow that same route of just a minor improvement. So the games against the fifth, sixth seed, like Legion, aren't blowouts either, right?
Right.
So I'm excited to see how Flame comes into this roster. Is he going to be that main AR? Like, I'm not sure. I really haven't watched too much of him. I don't know what kind of pacing he
Mm-hmm.
has, and so um, I can definitely see a world where he comes in, and if he's a little bit faster paced, Diamond Con,
I'm just gonna
you know,
assume the
he's going
young
to be
up and
chilling.
comers are all faster than guys who have been
Yeah,
playing COD since like World War
but look at
II or
this
before.
roster.
Yeah.
I know he's going to be faster than a Soul. Oh, that's not my
Yeah, yeah.
question. My question is he faster than Diamond Con? Who's going to be
Mm-hmm.
playing that quote unquote main AR, which is not a thing anymore, but who's playing that main AR role, right? That's never you're never questioning if they have a sub out or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to see if Diamond Con takes that place in the slower kind of holding lanes
Yeah.
as a Soul, or if they just have more of a 4-man, faster dynamic in general. So
Yeah.
I'm interested to see them play next.
Yeah, me too, bro. Because I mean, this team had a good split the first go round, and
Yeah.
you know, I feel like they are definitely, I don't know, underperforming. Needed a change, so maybe this will be the spark to make them compete for top
The
six.
catalyst.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I got,
Going
bro.
into the next match, we have Boston Breach versus Minnesota Rocker. We knew this one was going to be a good one, just because they're just like talented and newer rosters. So we had a map 5 Grueler and Minnesota take it in a round 11. Really rough series for Pentagram. I feel like he's really definitely the dirty work player on this team.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to picking up certain positions on the map, and he's also the bomb carrier. So I saw him get fucked over a few times
Mm-hmm.
during this match. So that .81 isn't too terrible, but overall,
What are
Minnesota
we
prevent
thinking?
a
Like a?
reverse sweep.
Are we thinking like a estimated .87 if you take out
Yeah,
the
yeah, some
weak
troll.
deaths?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. I mean, Beans continues to lay down fire with
Oh,
17.5K
he
damage,
had a
but
crazy play.
yeah,
Yeah.
map 4 rotate last hill rotate. It's two like 30 to 230 pretty much. Last rotation, Beans goes 37 and 25 on the map, but gets a 3 or a 4 piece on rotation to
I think it was all
secure the
four.
game-winning hill.
I'm
I'm
pretty
pretty
sure it
sure
was
he got
all
a 4
four, bro.
piece.
I just remember seeing
Um,
him jump off hill for the last one with a pistol and shit on him.
they had a listen in for Boston Breach on this map, and Beans was going crazy,
I
and it
love
was
that
just
man's energy.
it's so funny to watch. But then at the same time, Priesta with a sneaky 33 and 19 with a 1.74
Yeah.
on the map as well.
See, we
So
love to see that, bro. They were just
yeah,
talking about it. Aches was just talking about it. We need to see P Dog step up, start frying, and that's great map from him.
what we need to see now is Boston Breach to do something about their search, because that's
Yeah.
ultimately what costed them. They didn't win a round in the map 2, and they lose round 11 in the map 5, which I believe they were up 5-4, I
Mm-hmm.
think, or 5-3, I want to say. So definitely unfortunate that they lose another game 5. They're 0-2, both map 5 losses.
Yeah.
So I think with some time, this team will get better. I think I've always thought of Pentagram very highly. I mean, for example, Snoopy had, like, let me just pull up the numbers here. Snoopy had 1,800 more damage than him
Mm-hmm.
over 5 maps. Like, that's not that much at all.
Yeah.
And people look at Snoopy as a rising star. So I think Pentagram's only going to get better as time goes on, and I'm interested to see his progression.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I hope he turns it around, bro, because everyone's rooting for him. He's been in challengers forever. Like, it would be a shame if he fizzled out this quick.
Yep, I agree. Anything else to touch on that one?
Rough one respawn wise from Standy and Gunless.
Yeah, they had a good start in that first series there on Minnesota last weekend, but
Mm-hmm.
ever since then they've kind of been pretty average. So I'm interested to see. I definitely thought Gunless was going to be a little bit more higher paced, higher
Yeah,
engagement
me too.
player, especially when you have accuracy on your team. And you're replacing someone who lacked kills.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting a little bit more pace out of him, not necessarily in terms of his positioning on the map, but just his engagements.
Yeah.
I expect him to be a little bit higher, but nonetheless, definitely think that that team's going to get better as time goes on. I think they're a good search team.
Yeah.
It's just going to be the respawns for them.
Yeah, for sure.
Getting into the last match on Sunday, everyone thought this was going to be the match of the weekend. Banger series, Atlanta FaZe versus Toronto, and
Oh God, look
the
at that.
yeah. Scrap highest KD on the team with a .98, with the next closest being Kleenex with a .66. The red carpet is drowning in
Oh,
red right now.
yeah, that's awful.
This was just non-existent. 127 points in the hard point, one round in the search, one round in the control. They did not spawn in. This was an absolute beating. Celium had a 1.83, which I'm pretty sure is the highest KD ever. Definitely this year, might be all time in the CDL for a best of five.
Yeah.
So they were just literally one round in the search after they four downed them. They all went to everybody individually and were shooting it. I
Draza
mean,
emptied 2 clips on Scrap's body.
bro reloaded. Like, come on,
Uh,
didn't even pull out his pistol.
he
He
ran
reloaded
all
his
the way
AR.
over to the stairs on bridge to go do it too.
Yeah, and this is where the worry that you kind of expressed from the Miami series against Toronto, where you saw a little bit of shakiness. This is where it fully shook and an earthquake happened.
Mm-hmm.
It was not fucking close, like
No, this
at
was a
all.
clowning, bro. A
This was
clowning.
bad.
They were laughing at them in comms. Like, what are these dudes doing?
Yeah, Scrap tweeted out afterwards, that was horrible, like GG's lost 3-1 or something, and it's like you should have added your teammates and blamed all of them because they fucking blew
Yeah.
in this series.
Yeah.
I mean, Scrap was averaging 4K damage a map and went negative by 1 kill. Like, get the men some help,
Yeah.
brother. Especially with Kleenex looking super good the 2 matches before. Like,
Mm-hmm.
even in their shakier series to Miami, he still played very well and was able to shit on him in a couple maps. But FaZe just continue their dominance and kind of like not as bad as New York, I would say, but Toronto are slipping a little bit.
Yeah, big time. Envoy, brother, he needs
He
to
needs to
pick
figure it
it
out.
up, bro.
He's averaging like a .55 or .6 over
Yeah.
the last 10 hard points.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's horrible. His last 9
Very
hard
bad.
points, the highest KD he's had is a .75.
Yep, that's bad. I think I could do better. I
His
think I could average a
lowest
better KD.
his lowest is a .5 straight up. No,
Yep.
.35. I'm sorry. .35, brother. Yeah. Yeah,
Jeez.
I don't know what's going on with Envoy. It's kind of been this way all year. He's been up and down. Like the series he does well, it's usually against like Ravens or somebody, you know? I don't know, man. It's something's wrong. Something's seriously wrong.
Yeah, definitely. Anything else to add?
Shit's got to change, man. You can't talk shit like that and then come out and get smoked, Scrappy.
Yeah. And to round up the weekend here, speaking of something needs to change or something's wrong, you had a little tweet to bring up.
Yeah, so this is more for the casual side of COD. There was a tweet of the new dinosaur skin,
Yeah,
and someone quote
that was
tweeted
funny.
it, and this quote tweet got 173K likes, so a lot of people agreed. They said, I can't think of a single series that has lost its identity this bad. So are you for all the promotions of like Dune and all that type of shit and just random ass skins that aren't really COD lore accurate, COD canon, you know? Or are you someone
Um,
who enjoys all that stuff?
So I would say I'm like 65% for it, 35% not, and I'll explain what I mean by that. So obviously I want COD to continue. I enjoy playing ranked. I enjoy when Warzone is good. I enjoy sometimes the campaign when they try.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still a big fan of Treyarch when they develop those games.
100%.
As of right now, I'm a forever Call of Duty fan, so I want to continue to play this game. So for that reason, I understand that it's also a business, and I know that makes a shit ton of money,
Mm-hmm.
and that helps. Um, I also like it because it makes it more fun. Like
Yeah.
I buy shit, especially I'm definitely all for the crossovers or partnerships. I'm forgetting uh,
Yeah, me too.
the
Yeah,
collabs.
collabs.
With they did the Warhammer, Dune,
Dune.
Walking Dead,
Yeah. Snoop Dogg.
Godzilla, King Kong, Snoop Dogg. I love them. I think they're super fun. Now, does it get weird whenever I'm running around with a Doberman as my head or a lizard as my head? Yes, it gets a little weird, but it doesn't affect the gameplay at all. So I don't have a fucking problem with it. My problem is that there are 70 different characters that you put them and equip them to, and you can't. And some of them can only be applied when you're on this team, and some of them can only be applied
Yeah.
when you're on that team.
Yeah, bro. Let
They
me
need to
run
go
my
back
skin the whole time, bro.
they need to go back to the advanced warfare system, and whenever they release these bundles, have them as bundles, or you can individually buy a headgear and a body, so you can run around with Timothy Chalamet's armor and
Oh,
the
that'd be
the
sick.
Doberman's head. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like
Mix and match.
that would be
Customize
dope.
a little bit.
um and even if they don't want to do that and keep them all as one set, at least stop delineating them by which team you're on.
Mm-hmm.
Because I promise you, no one is looking at what skin they are running and knowing that they're on the other team.
Yeah.
We have settings and nameplates and stuff and lighting to differentiate enemies from teammates.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my 2 cents on that.
No, yeah, I agree, bro. Honestly, I don't mind it.
Yeah, like I'm
I think
not playing it.
I don't
Like
know if COD's identity crisis comes from that. I think
I don't think
COD's
so.
identity crisis is all the new shit they've added
It's
since the new
Warzone.
engine. It's Warzone. It's they've strayed away from what made COD a little bit when it comes to
Yeah,
like
because of Warzone.
yeah.
It's
But
literally all comes back to Warzone.
I'm all for more skins. I'm a complete skin whore in every game I play. Like I love it. I love my Dune skins. I think that's sick. I don't care. Like pubs is fun, bro. Like let there be a bunch of random shit in pubs, bro.
Yes.
For me, like it would be so sick if they just had Call of Duty and it was like a mixture of all the best guns and best maps and best skins and shit. And it was just like one game that lasted 10 years and they just continuously update it. And there's all the best shit in there. Like that'd be sick. It'd be like a COD world.
Yes. And they make hella money.
Yeah.
But for some reason, the annual release, they just won't stray away from it because
Yeah.
of what they've built on top of it and the revenue that they see each year.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think that with what you just said, they could easily see the same revenue from annual releases, if not more. So I definitely hear you. Even with making the game free and
Yeah.
then doing all the in-store stuff, like there's a
Yeah.
reason that these models already exist in a lot of battle royales,
Mhm.
and there's a reason that Warzone is doing well because these operators are also in there. That's another thing to think about is like whenever they're releasing these skins, Warzone gets to use them every game, no matter what.
Right.
We have to hope we're on the right team to use the skin that we just bought.
Right. Yeah. And I think
So
they
it's
should make that like Rocket League where if you want to put a skin on and that be your only skin despite what team you're on, great. Or you can put
Just
one
buying
skin
it.
on one team, one skin on the other team. It's up to you.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
that would make more sense. That would be more fun because honestly, I got that Timothy Chalamet skin and I was like, "Ooh, I can't wait to use this." And then I'm on Cortac or whatever the enemy team is the whole
Right.
time and I haven't used him in 3 games. So it's like great, you know?
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah, definitely a good topic to bring up though. Good tweet.
well, another one is Halo. Halos
Mm.
seem to have lost a little sense of direction. Lucid tweeted, POV as a Halo player the last month. 343 is bailing on Halo seasons. Your shots aren't counting. You're waiting an eternity to find games, and once you find, are terribly balanced. We're still playing brown and gray Forge maps with no other new content, on top of cheaters flying around on their magic carpets, all while in the dark, assuming the next Halo comes out in 3 years. This is actually pathetic at Halo.
Interesting.
Yeah. So Halo came out with a huge season 4 update like a year ago, and that was the infection season. And it seemed like they were starting to ramp up the content. Forge came in, things were looking up. And then not too long later after that season, they were like, hey, we're done with seasons. Every 2 months or whatever, we're going to drop like a 20-tier battle pass. But there's no longer seasons. So it seemed like that was them taking their foot off the gas a little bit, as if it's time to wind down Infinite. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like they're still trying to build it up. You know, it seems like we're on the wind down now, like towards the end of the cycle. So it worries me.
Yet, nothing has driven me back to that game, other than the casual itch while watching a Halo tournament to play ranked.
Yeah, like exactly, bro.
That's literally it.
Oh, maybe a little bit. Like when Forge came out, we definitely went back. Since then, though, dude, there hasn't really been that many like bring the mega casuals back. You know what I mean? Like people that don't really like even mess with Halo like that, that played it at launch, you know, when everyone was playing it. Like they haven't really done anything to bring those type of players back. It's the people that are already Halo fans will come back for a little bit, play it, and then there's no more content, so it's like, all right, I'm off again. But I don't know, bro. It seems like it's dwindling down, but today there was a couple of good news tweets to come from the Halo world. The first one was they're adding the exchange. So now on these 20-tier battle passes, another thing was they had a lot of fluff in there, like emblems and just stupid shit that you're not going to use, like an armor emblem and I don't know. And so now they're replacing all the fluff with Spartan points that you can spend in the exchange, which is like a shop where you can buy vaulted items that they vaulted away from previous seasons and stuff like that. So that might be cool. That might be cool. And then Toshi, the guy that kind of like manages the community and stuff, he tweeted today, long requested, we're updating Infinite on the 30th. In the event a game starts with uneven teams, the game will end automatically and no SR will be won or lost for either team. So that's good because apparently there's a lot of issues in ranked right now with people, you know, not loading into the map, and then you got to play 3v4 or people being invisible or something. I don't know. There was all kinds of weird bugs. So it seems like they're trying to fix it, but yeah, man, I don't know.
I mean, it's too little too late, I feel like, for that fix.
I do
like,
too,
bro. That should be off drop. Like that, making a playlist and not thinking that has, you know, competitive significance where you're earning points afterwards. Like the fact that you don't think about what if someone lags out or what if someone crashes while loading in or what if someone just doesn't load in. Like that, come on. Like,
dude, it's almost like 343 is like incompetent. Like I genuinely think they can't keep up with what they tried to build in Infinite because since launch there's been hella issues on PC. There's bugs all the time. It always is, you know, a little sketchy in the menus. Also, I've left caught up this whole time we've been talking. But it's always a little like buggy in the menus trying to load into things sometimes. And you know, they've had an absolute slow release of content, especially around launch. It took them months and months and months to get something new in the game. That's why everyone left, you know. And it's just crazy, bro. I mean, it genuinely seems like they can't keep up. And, you know, Microsoft, they have like a revolving staff, I guess, where like a lot of people get laid off every 18 months. And then the head creative director of 343 stepped down. Like, it's just been a shit show for 3 years, bro. And there will be moments of like, oh my God, we're coming back. It's looking good. And then just like now, like after that infection season, I was like, oh great, Halo's on the come up. And they've just gone straight back down since, bro.
Yeah.
I think it's time to hand the keys over, bro. 343 has shown year in and year out they can't do it.
Yeah, I don't like that year and a half, like contract for Microsoft employees. I can't believe that employment model is still in effect
Yeah, it's
right
weird.
now.
It's weird.
It's really weird, but yeah, definitely need to make some changes to attract players back. Even players like me who think the game is great
Yeah.
at its core, like it's such a good game, but no,
Now,
like I have no desire to play it.
I don't follow Destiny too much, but when I do see people tweet about it, it seems like that game is really in the shitter right now. Their players don't seem happy. But how cool would it be if Bungie came back, got the rights to Halo somehow? This is never going to happen, by the way. I think
This
this
is
I think they
hopium.
I think they fucking hate Microsoft. I don't think they have a good relationship. But what if they came back and made a Halo game that was like Destiny? Like it was kind of open worldy. There were raids, there were
Oh wow,
campaigns, there was competitive
that'd be sick.
multiplayer. Like how sick would that be? A Destiny type
That'd
of
be
game
crazy.
in a Halo universe would go so crazy. And made by
No,
Bungie.
yeah, that would be crazy.
Bungie doesn't miss, bro. Their games are gorgeous. They're fun. Like I love Bungie.
Yeah,
So
Bungie's good, except for what's it called? The most recent. Wait, what was the Star
Starfield's
Forward?
Bethesda.
Bethesda. Okay,
Yeah.
never mind. Never mind.
But
Yeah, they fucked that one up.
yeah, I don't know. I think that would be cool, but genuinely like 343, it's probably time. It's probably time. They've had enough
I
chances.
agree.
4 is like everyone's worst Halo. 5 was fun multiplayer wise, but the casuals hate it. Um and then this Halo's just been a train wreck and they lost 80% of the population from launch and haven't been able to get it back. So, um yeah, it's sad to
We'll
see,
see.
bro. It's my favorite franchise ever and it's just been bottled and
It's been bottled.
I just hope there's a studio out there with the resources and the passion to make Halo great again.
Mugga.
Yeah,
Mahugga.
mahug. So
Well,
that was my Halo speech.
we'll continue speaking and continue yapping because now we're gonna be talking some Rocket League
Yes,
and some changes that
sir.
went down.
Yes, sir. So RLCS is back. We just had our North American qualifier last weekend to get into this weekend's regional. So there's like a shit ton of teams, like 156 teams or whatever. And so let me take you through the 16 teams that we will be seeing in this regional. And we got someone missing that hasn't missed a regional in 7 years. And his
Damn.
name is Arsenal. So sadly, the way the bracket was set up, either NRG, Space Station, or Dignitas was going to miss the cut. One of those 3 teams was going to miss the cut. And Dignitas end up playing NRG late in the qualifier and go up 2-0 in a best of 5, and they get reverse swept.
No.
Yep, they get reverse swept by Garrett G and the NRG crew. And
Damn.
there's a great video of, I don't know if it's someone else, like Garrett G's roommate or something, but he's recording outside the door where Garrett's playing, and like at the end of the reverse sweep, you just hear him scream like, "Let's fucking go!" Like they were going crazy. So that's cool to see NRG have some passion back and made it. But the first 8 teams that qualified were G2, of course. Now we have Moist Esports in North America. So Moist dropped Joyo, who is one of the most mechanical players in RLCS, one of the best players in RLCS, and they dropped their entire roster, moved to North America, and picked up Pirates on a Boat. So Pirates on a Boat, and they are a new team with Andy, 5-up in them, and they have performed pretty dang well the last few regionals, and they were almost, to where they could make the major. So this is really cool to see, bro. They got picked up by Moist, and they're now signed to a real org, not just a made-up Pirates on a Boat team. And that's good to see from them, bro. That's cool to see players get a chance and,
Nice. Let's
and
go.
get signed,
I like
especially
that.
to a cool org like Moist with, Moist Critical leading the charge. So that was
Yeah.
dope. Joyo ended up going to Oxygen. Oxygen's always like a team that is highly talked about as like a dark horse European team at the beginning of the season, and then they underperform like shit. And now they have Joyo, so they might actually be scary. They might actually finally be that scary dark horse team. In the past 2 seasons, Joyo has kind of been the best player on his team trying to carry. So it's cool to see him actually be on a good team now. But
Go.
back to the first 8 teams. Obviously, OG made it. TSM, Genji with First Killer, Space Station, Luminosity and Retals, and then Justin and Shopify made it.
Nice.
New roster alert: Cloud9. Cloud9 signed the Omelet roster, which is Lion Blaze, who we watched at
Nice.
CRL, and
Yep.
Zanil, who's like big on YouTube, and I forget who their third is, but Cloud9 is now in Rocket League again. Last time they were in Rocket League was when like Squishy Torment and Gimmick won
Right.
Worlds.
Yeah. I was like, what? C9 squishy. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was dope. That was cool to see. That decal better go crazy next season, or if they get it this season, they might put it in. They did that last
That'd be
year.
sick.
Yeah,
That'd be
so
sick.
that would be sick. We have a new team alert: Cloverity. Huge lower
Cloverity.
bracket run gives Cloverity. Their 3 players get their first ever RLCS main event appearance. It's Nightya, RL, JD, and Exorari. Probably all like
So
14-year-olds or something. I don't even
did
know.
they
They're
have
probably
to
young.
play one of those? What did they have to play like one of those teams that was like Dignitas,
No,
NRG,
I don't
or
know
the
if
other
they
ones?
played one of them. I mean, it's a huge bracket, so I don't know. But they made it, and it's their first appearance ever, and I've never heard of them, so that's cool. It's cool to get some new blood in there. Our other teams are still Deleted XD. They've been in it every time. M80, NRG, and the Snowmen.
Yep, I
So
remember Snowman.
let's
That's
go.
Frosty, right?
Yeah. So that'll be an interesting regional. It's cool to see like almost every team in it is like an actual signed org now instead of just a bunch of pickup teams.
Yeah,
So that's dope, bro. It seems like it's gonna be a competitive regional this weekend.
absolutely.
Um,
That's dope.
that being said, was that all I had on Rocket League? Yes,
Um,
it was. So yeah,
when's the next? Is it
this
this coming
weekend.
weekend?
Yeah, North American Regional 1. Split tier.
Friday, Thursday?
I think it's Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday is the playoffs.
Okay. Bet. Well, that's going to do it for our little esports recap here. I think pretty soon. Not too sure because the schedule for Valorant's a little weird because of how international they are, but I definitely kind of want to touch on Valorant here and there
Yeah, I'm down
when
to
it
start watching.
comes to the podcast. But yeah, that's going to do it for our esports recap.
Ooh, actually,
What?
Blake, there's one thing about COD I forgot to bring up, bro.
What?
Do you think Optic having their own like
Oh.
hosted major for champs is unfair?
I wouldn't say unfair is the right word. I would say it's just unfamiliar. And it is a little bit. I would say it's a little bit of cheese.
I think
Because
it's
like
cheese as fuck, especially if Hitch comes out with the drum. I'm actually pissed off, and I'm a fan
yeah
of
that.
Optic.
Well, think of I mean, this happened when it was in L.A. Fucking Courage came out, and the co-owner of 100 Thieves
Yeah, that's
comes out and
true.
announces
That's
L.A.
true. I
Thieves
didn't
onto
like
the
that either.
stage.
I didn't like that either, bro.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, I would rather it stay as neutral as possible. Like Ake said, where it is doesn't matter, but the
Yeah,
fact that it is
most of them
a
live in
sponsored
Dallas.
event, like it is a Optic themed event. So I think Optic should stray away from decorations and such.
Yeah,
So
like if you walk
um,
in the arena, it's just green everywhere with Optic banners, and like Hitch is doing the drum before their match. I'm gonna be pissed, bro. We don't
yeah,
deserve a home game at champs.
yeah, we don't. And if we
It's
win
a
it, then
Mickey
people are
Mouse
always gonna
ring.
say
Yeah,
that, yeah, and put an asterisk next to it and stupid shit. So, but at the end of the day, they sit down and play COD. I
yeah,
mean, regardless of where they go, or if it's green wall themed, or if it's Optic sponsored, they are gonna have the home crowd. It doesn't matter. So, when it comes to the actual outcome, whether people are gonna put an asterisk on it, say it's home champs cheese, you gotta phase is still there. Like there's
yeah,
you still got to beat phase.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
come on.
yeah.
Like
No, that's true. And
Activision's
FaZe
trying to do all they can.
has won in Optic's house numerous times, so they
Yes.
won't be
Like
scared.
yeah. So but yeah, that's what I got. But,
Yeah,
yeah, it definitely is some cheese, but I don't think it's that big of a deal in the end all be all. But that's gonna do it for the esports segment of our podcast here. Going to round it off episode 23 with our segment pick and bans. Welcome back to our coin segment to round out the episode of Pick and Bans. Me and Dak are going to pick and ban something that has either happened to us, something in the news, something, whatever. Pick and ban something from our lives recently. I'll pick, Dak picks, I ban, he bans. Both of mine are actually sort of golf related, so didn't mean that, but just so happens. But my pick is my girlfriend because this past weekend or something, she works at a private golf course, and at these private golf courses are a lot of 30 plus 40 plus year olds who are miserable in their own marriages and like to flex on the cart girls to help them feel better about themselves.
Oh my God.
She goes and has a drink with her coworker after their shift, and her coworker's like on her phone looking at like shoes or something like that, and one of the members is also at this place and says, like, just comes up and just says, like, I'm gonna buy those for you, right? Like, I'll buy those for you right now. And then also looks at my girlfriend and says, you like those? I'll buy you a pair too. And the reason that she is my girlfriend is because she goes, no, it's okay. If I want them, I'll have my boyfriend buy them for me. But I do like your golf shoes you're wearing. And he goes, oh, you want a pair of these? And she goes, yeah, in a size 9 men's. And so his drunk ass orders me a pair of golf shoes.
Dude.
So I'll be getting a pair of those soon. And then her friend goes, wait, I want to get a pair of these for my friend also. And got another pair, but in Cass's size. And she's just going to give them to my girlfriend anyways. Wow. So...
Wow, dude. Women's
W
right there.
women.
Damn, bro.
So that was dope. I was like, fire. Gave her a high five. I was like, good
fire.
Job. But dude, those guys are miserable. I feel like they're so sad. Yeah. Some of the dudes at that club are so sad.
Yeah, man. I used to work at a country club in Tulsa. It was the same way. Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my pick.
On me all the time. Anyway.
Oh my God.
No, I'm just kidding. My pick is Thunder for the playoff opener had 50% off concessions and beer. Fire.
That's big W.
Fire.
That is a big W.
The place was rocking, bro. The place was lit. Every shot, the fans were just going crazy, bro. It could be like an open mid-range jumper. The place was, they were bringing the roof down. So, damn. Yeah, that was big dub because concession prices are insane and so are playoff ticket prices. So, it was nice.
Who's the player? I don't know if he's on the Thunder but it's one of the playoff teams. He be barking and getting the crowd to like bark with him.
I don't know.
Oh, I think it might be someone on the Timberwolves. I know it's not Anthony Edwards, but it might be someone else.
I mean,
but like I've seen clips
the Thunder
of this
players
guy.
Bark after interviews. Do they do it mid-game too?
They were on the court. And all I know is it had like the whole stadium, like white people were barking.
Okay, yeah, that might be us, bro. I think that's us.
It might be. Might be. I'm pretty sure it's Jalen Williams.
Yeah, because in the post-game interviews all the time.
Is he in year 2?
Yeah, and they try to get Shay to bark all the time, and he does it sometimes, and they just start cracking up.
Dude, they're funny team.
Dude, they are, bro. They're all like 23 and just having a good time, bro. They're fun.
Yeah. But yeah, that's 50% off is crazy.
Yeah, big dubs.
Going to the bands now, also golf related. Yesterday, I ditched work an hour early to go play golf with our good friend Adam, and we got through about 13 or 14 holes. There's still light out, and we get a notification like an hour before on our carts that says like suspend play at 7:50, finish your current like at 7:50, finish your current hole and come in. And at 7:50, we're like in the fairway, finish that hole, and then I'm racing to the next tee box. And as I'm like we're pulling up to the tee box, you can see down the fairway driving towards us is the marshal.
Jesus.
And so I'm running up to the fucking tee box, putting my shit in. And I do a practice swing, get up to my ball, look, and he's driving in front of the tee boxes in front of me to prevent me from hitting. He comes up, he's like, 750 boys, got to suspend play. And I look over to the skyline. I go, we got a hole or two of daylight left. Come on. And he's like, nope, gotta rack them up, gotta head in. And I was like, can I at least try and drive the green? It's like a 290-yard par 4. I'm like, I can drive this green. Like, let me go for it. And he's like, no, gotta head in. And I'm like, dude, who puts a hard stop when there's still daylight? Like, I just paid to play 18 holes.
Yeah, unless they
You can't
close at
hard
like
stop
8.
me. No, you can't on a golf course. You can't
Yeah, I
do
don't know.
that.
Yeah,
I understand
That's-
the restaurant
I'd be
and stuff
pissed.
closing.
I'd definitely be pissed.
So Grapevine Golf Course is my van.
Yeah, good
Fuck
riddance.
that.
We're name dropping them too. Leave them Yelp reviews, people. We're gonna put our next
Course is
wave
great, though.
army on them. All 5 people are gonna go fucking.
All
leave
5 of
them
you
1
motherfuckers.
stars.
We can fit in one car.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, we can pull up there together, bro. Everyone that watches this, we'll be in the same car. All right. My ban is anyone that tweets the shit. Look between
Oh
this
my
letter and this
God.
letter, bro.
I reported 4 tweets on my
too,
timeline
me
today.
too.
I'm not interested, not relevant.
No, I'm straight up like blocking accounts, bro. If I see
Dude.
even like a joke tweet about it, I'm done.
I fucking hate it.
It's
It
the most
hasn't even been
brain
24
rot,
hours.
Stupid fucking trend I've ever seen, and it's all over the place, bro.
Great fucking ban. Wow.
Yeah.
You were thinking way more creatively
Yeah,
than I
so,
was.
Funny
Great
tweet.
fucking ban.
I got a funny tweet. My favorite social media manager in the game works for Opera GX, the browser company.
Mhm.
And they tweeted, currently working on a browser extension that nukes every user with a post that has look, between, and keyboard in it.
Nukes.
Yeah, nukes. And they just put a picture of a nuke going off. So I hope that's true, but I hope no one tweets that in my
Give that
apartment
guy a
building.
raise.
Yeah. So that's my ban, and they should all be ashamed of themselves for tweeting that.
Yeah, that
and
is the
impression
worst
farming.
shit ever. You're exactly right. That is literal brain rot,
Mhm.
and it's the stupidest shit ever. I was muting, fucking not interested,
Yeah.
reporting tweets. One, I don't get it. 2,
No,
when
I
I do get
genuinely
it,
think
the
it's
stupidest
impression
shit.
farming. It is impression farming, and that's it. That is all
it's
it's for.
So dumb.
It's
It's
so
so
dumb,
dumb.
bro.
This we gotta blame.
Elon?
Yes, Elon for in doing ad revenue or what is it called? Monetizing tweets.
Yeah.
So fuck you, Elon. But Dak, anything else before we round this bitch out?
Nope. Good episode, man.
Episode 23 in the books. Thank you guys for watching. If you did
Draymond
enjoy,
Green
like,
episode.
comment, and subscribe. Did you just say Draymond Green episode?
Yeah, I did.
I'm gonna act like that didn't happen. Shout out Braun the GOAT.
Jordan.
This has been episode 23. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Deuces.